I am Arvo. I'm going to go. I don't want to shoot.
Based off the character's shakiness and worriness in his eyes,
his presence don't get all very intimidating, and he seems to be very scared out of his mind here. Nervous of the situation, don't have no control of anything that's what's happening before his eyes. Arvo is really not in a sense of matter to harm anyone. In this act of this matter, he was caught and scared and startled by Clementine and Jane. This is a defense coping mechanism on defending himself with the armed weapon that he have been given or he have been holding on to for quite some time. His whole demeanor and presence do not fully convince me into being this type of person that his sister Natasha and the rest of his buddies in a game group that he's with. It don't show any type of energy that resemblance any type of similar things. In this moment, it shows that Arvo has some good character development inside of him, but he's actually surrounded by poor people. He is surrounded by people that are bad influence around him and trying to teach him something else, taking away his pure innocence on who he truly is. At the end of the day, it's a young boy that's nice and always kind to others. Later on, we transfer towards the scene. No matter the outcome of whatever you choose, if you take the medicine for Arvo, or if you decide to just be the kind person you are and don't take the medicine because of his sick sister, it still will count in the same aftermath that leads on later on throughout the episode. A little bit of a theory jump on the situation why Arvo was stashing the meds in this area. It's a lot to actually touch on. Honestly, I like to sit up here and say this. He was taking the medicine as a theory option, right? Away from his people because he didn't trust them with the medicine. Clearly, they probably was abusing it, using it hard, or just being somewhat stingy with it or needy and not giving it to his sister. Or maybe they were just high off of those medications and antibiotics and just getting high off of them. And his sister does look sick, but she was pretty, functionable and ready to rob whatever remaining left of Clementine group had on them. So it's in a mix of a clear of his sister is being sick, but it could lead down a twisted way of maybe they was getting a high off of the meds and it was abusing them. And Arvo had no other choice probably to stash him away from the group because he couldn't really get his word across or even just assert his dominance to sit up there and do the best thing for his sister or even people around him. I think they were really loaded with antibiotics and other people really needed them. Maybe he was coming back to his stash, or maybe he was just getting rid of it because they just really didn't need it. It goes down in a lot of rabbit holes. So if you got anything interesting to say about this topic, please let me know in the comments down below. So as we transition to the next scene, which is at the gun hill hostage point, when the whole group is at gunpoint from Arvo group in ambush, wanted to take all the remainers that they have from them. In this part right here, in this moment right here, this is still not Arvo character. This is a persona that he's trying to pretend to be, and clearly this is not in his nature and someone that he's really not deep down inside of himself. This is what you call peer pressure. Peer pressure is really easy to anyone that is easily influenced, and no matter what, in the heat of the moment, they will go ahead and do something to prove a lot of things that they are with the idea of the plan of being hard or gangster or cool or fly forever the time being of the temporary moment. This is him trying to prove that he's really down what they got going on, and 9 times out of 10 he's not. This is a peer pressure moment, pretty much peer pressure moment that goes in a lot of things. Let's just use it for example. If somebody got peer pressure getting offered marijuana in the heat of the moment or anything, and they just don't want to be put on the spot to show that they lame anyway you're not, or just weak, or you're not really like that, just to prove in that moment that he's confident he can do anything. So in that moment he wanted to show up and do that. Not only Arvo took the medicine from his group because whatever issue that they had going on, pretty much the group probably found out the medicine was missing and looking for the stash, and Arvo had no other choice to sit up there and throw Clementine and Jane under the bus for clearly being innocent and doing anything but just helping him. He just wanted to throw it on anybody just to save his skin because he know the outcome of what's going to happen to him or probably his sister as well. In this moment he was pretending right here to be someone that he's clearly not and trying to protect himself and his sister right here. In this moment Arvo didn't really necessarily want a fight as a shootout. He just wanted to rob them for all their belongings. The fuss wound up carrying on to more aggressive things and it wound up leading to a shootout. The rest of his Russian group wound up getting a little bit aggressive and very strict, and it turns into a shootout. These two people we don't really get too much backstory on in the description of them, but pretty much they are just a Russian gangster group or something like that. The tattoos don't really symbolize anything. Maybe something of a gang or whatever they have as a name called as a Russian gang or something like that, but they just bring off personas as more of a gang. He's the only one that's identified that has tattoos on his face and on the back of his head as well. Some tattoos are just really hard hard to make out, and some are like skulls or whatever the heck they are, you know, completely all type of negative things. And the other person really don't have tattoos or anything to show, so it couldn't be something like that. Maybe this person was probably affiliated with another gang and fall into one of them, because they probably was tatted up as well, just like him. And these things do symbolize gangs, so it leads into a shootout, which was very unfortunate. Arvo's sister wound up dying of the aftermath. Natasha wound up getting shot, and yeah, she's down for the count. Now it leads on to the grief or the anger or anything like that. Arvo takes all his bitter rage and anger and frustrations and aim it towards Clementine. In the sense of the matter, I would describe everything what he's feeling right here. He has no one else to put the blame on, so he decides to put it on Clementine because he's the last person that he associated himself with. In the moment, he feels like it's Clementine's fault, but deep down in reality, he knows that it's not. But in this moment, Arvo sees nothing but red clearly, and he just can't sit up there and put his senses together. So he would do the most unfamiliar, unfortunate things ever randomly, right? So in this moment, I'm not defending the dude for what he did, because it was clearly wrong for him shooting Clementine like that. But that right there is a act of anger and just frustrations, and he's only taking it out on Clementine because he's the last person that he saw Clementine with, her and Jane. He would have took it out on Jane as well, because he already had something against Jane, and he has something against Clementine as well. And at the end of the day, he felt like he need to blame Clementine because he know for a fact deep down it was his fault, taking the antibiotics, medical bag stash from his group. He know that he put his sister in jeopardy, danger, and himself. He is too weak in this moment to accept his own defeat, that he is the one in the matter to be blamed. So he looks around for all solutions, and he decides to blame Clementine, which is the most innocent one that have nothing to do with the story. It'll make pretty much good logic sense if you would agree with Jane and take the medicine, but if you don't, you're pretty much in the clear and you innocent. So he really don't have no one to blame. He just wrong in the situation. He wrong in a whole entire situation. He's wrong for a lot of things. We should not hate him, but he's wrong in this situation. He's wrong for doing all of this. He's wrong for blaming Clementine. He's wrong pretending to be someone that he's clearly not. He's wrong for starting all of this. Meanwhile, in reality, he couldn't come true with himself connecting deeply on being himself authentically. He had to live a life after the aftermath of the zombie apocalypse broke out, someone that he was not, and that's not a life to live. And that's what lead Arvo down his unfortunate story of wind up dying later on, because we already know in that snow blistering cold he died, and the rest of the group as well. But let me know how y'all think about this. Let me know if I discovered everything of the analyzing of Arvo character. I don't really feel like he was meant to be a bad person. It's just that he was brought up in a wrong environment. Of his sister was a bad influence, and not only that, his Russian gang group that stood up there influenced him as well, peer pressured him, forcing him to be this person that he's not. And that's what happens to good people as well. They get peer pressure, they get manipulated, they get confused, and they do the unnatural, unrealistic choices and terrible things in their life. Arvo was young, you could clearly see that. Same age, probably similar to Ben. This is me just making my predictions, who knows, but they both look similar and they both look kind of young in this matter. I think he was young as well. But that's all I have to say about Arvo. Let me know if y'all enjoyed this video. I thought this was pretty interesting to make. Sorry if it's extremely short. I'm getting back into The Walking Dead. Who knows, I might do another video in the future, but let's just leave it at this for now. But I catch you on the next one, and I love each and every one of y'all. Catch up, boys, in the next one. Peace.